Hello, friends, and welcome to another exciting edition of Putting Gold into the Golden Years. It's been a while since we've seen you all, so we're going to do a recap of what we've been doing since our last episode. One of the first things we did is take a little trip up to Branson. You want to tell them about it, Luann?
Sure. We decided we were going to go to Branson to see some music shows. Mark had been there many times, but I had never been. So we took off and went up there to see what we could get into. And as usual, we got into a lot of stuff. One of the first things that we looked at was actually in Monette, Missouri. It was called the Freedom Silo. It was down near the railroad track in Monette, just out, a regular old silo. And the guy that painted it is named Rain Klotfelter. Very, very, very funny name, but it was beautiful. It has a picture of an eagle and the American flag. It was really well done. While we were there, a local man came up and started talking with us and told us a little bit about the history of how the silo came to be. And he was very friendly and just nice. You'd be surprised how many nice people you meet out in the world. The other things that we did there, like I said, we went to some shows. We went to see Rhonda Vincent, who was very, very good. And they did a really good job of the social distancing and managing the number of people there. We almost felt like it was a private concert, and she was very friendly and very open to talk with after the show. And she and Mark had a conversation that I'll let him tell you a little bit more about in a little bit. We also saw Mo Pitney with her. He's a young artist that we first became acquainted with on Country Family Reunion, which we watched. And he has a very good voice. He started writing his own songs, and his little girl was there in the audience, and he spoke to her, and she said, "I love you, Daddy," right in the middle of the concert. It was great. We also went to a Christmas spectacular, which was reminiscent of some of the big, reminded me kind of the big band era and the Broadway shows. The costumes were really nice, and the talent was surprisingly good, and it was in a beautiful setting. The auditorium was very nice. They also did a very good job with the social distancing, so we enjoyed that. And we saw another group called the Hay Goods, which I enjoyed, but it wasn't my favorite, so they were okay. While we were there, we also had a very good experience in the place that we stayed. It was very well kept, clean, friendly, and they had, as an added benefit, when you came in at night from the shows, they had fresh cobbler and fresh baked cookies. So when you walked into that entryway, the first thing you smelled was these baked goods. It's very inviting, and the food was good, so we liked that. While we were there, we also went to a Veterans Museum, which was nicely done. They had a big sculpture in the front of it that reminded me of the soldiers coming off the boats at Normandy. They were all marching close together, and there was a lot of detail. The other thing that I really liked about it was that they had several women highlighted. Most of them were nurses, but there were some who were in different kind of jobs, which was also kind of interesting. They had a lot of different uniforms, and one thing that I always notice when I go through museums is how much smaller people were 100 years ago. So some of these uniforms looked like they could have belonged to teenagers. They were pretty small, but these were young men and women that were doing the fighting. The other thing we went to was a butterfly house, which was a nice exhibit as well. It's a beautiful building, and you go up this curved walkway, and if you're young you can go up some stairs, but we went up the walkway. And you go in, and there's a little foyer there that's closed off, and they tell you all about what you can do and what you can't do. You can't touch the butterflies. So we went in there, and even though you can't touch the butterflies, they can touch you. So I put my finger down near a butterfly, and it walked onto my finger, and I carried it around with me for the rest of my tour. And when I was done, I put my finger down, and he got off. And then when you walk out, they inspect you with a light to make sure that you don't have any other hitchhikers, so you don't take the butterflies out of the museum. So that was pretty neat. They had some butterflies that I hadn't seen, and I told myself I was going to remember the names, but of course I didn't. But they were pretty. We also saw in Springfield, Missouri, the world's largest fork. You never can tell what you're going to find out about. So we were visiting some family in Joplin, and one of them told us about the fork. So it's just in front of a commercial business, and it's huge. So that was pretty cool. Plans for the next trip. Our next trip is going to be to Nashville. We're going to try to go to the Grand Ole Opry. This will be the third time that we've tried to go, and the previous 2 times our plans have not worked out, but hopefully they will this time. And Rhonda Vincent is going to be inducted into the Grand Ole Opry on the night that we're going, so we're pretty excited about that. She's a really talented woman, and just seems, from watching her videos and Facebook Live presentations that she does, it seems like she's just really down to earth and normal. And talking about Facebook Live, why don't you tell them about that, dear?
Well, several times on Facebook Live, Rhonda's been on there fixing dinner and cooking potatoes, and she used a paring knife to peel her potatoes, and she ends up cutting away half of the potato. So I told her when we met her up in Branson that I was going to send her a potato peeler, which I did. And when lo and behold, on her next Facebook Live, she brought out the fact that I sent her a potato peeler and showed everybody the potato peeler. So hopefully she's going to be able to cut her potato bill down quite a bit.
Oh, the only other thing that I have to mention is that after, we really don't know where we're going to go after we go to Nashville, but I got this vacation guide, and I've been going through and looking at it, and I have several pages earmarked. So stay tuned. You never can tell where we'll end up going. We also saw a show that we liked the other day that's set in Galveston, Texas, so we talked about that a little bit. And like I said, you never can tell where we'll end up, but we'll keep you posted.
And from time to time, we like to do little reviews or recommendations. And recently, I bought a Chromecast with Google TV, and we really like it. I've been an advocate of Roku for many years, but I think I like this Chromecast with Google TV even better. That you can get all your streaming channels and everything on there all in one place, and it's really handy. Some of the shows that, one of the shows that we've found and liked, that we don't watch network shows where you have to know what day it's on during the week and what time and all that. We just stream them all whenever we feel like watching them.
And we can binge watch them then.
Exactly. But one that we discovered and liked was called Covert Affairs, and we've gone through the whole, every season of that so far, and we like that. We've also downloaded the Discovery Plus app, which it's not a free app. It costs $5 if you want to see commercials in it, or $7 without commercials. And there are just literally hundreds of different shows on there that you can watch. There's all the cooking shows, all the DIY shows. There's just a ton of them. Everything is on the History and Food Network and Discovery, and all those you can watch for that one price. I'm also in the process of evaluating a XO X7 Ranger drone that I've gotten out and flown it twice so far. Neither time for very long, and because the winds were pretty high. But I'm going to show some footage from that. It seems like a pretty good drone, and we'll just see how it works out. Also, since we've seen you last, I had a birthday, and my lovely wife bought me a brand new lens, which actually is very nice. I like it a lot. It's strictly a manual focus lens. It takes really nice pictures, and of course, it's kind of the reason why we've had to do this video twice, because I set the camera up for manual focusing to use this lens, and didn't switch it back to autofocusing, so we had quite a blurry video before we got back into this.
And then I got him that one for his birthday, and then he bought himself one that's also really neat. I don't know if you guys remember those kaleidoscopes that we had as kids where you look in the end of it and twist the little paper bottom of it. And he's got a camera lens that'll do that effect now. He's taken some pretty cool pictures. So we'll have to post some of those maybe too.
So we got anything else?
Oh yeah, you forgot the most exciting thing about your birthday.
Oh yes, that I got I got a chorus serenading me as I left the dining room.
Not only singing, dancing too.
Singing and dancing.
Yeah.
That all the servers and and cooks and everybody got together and sang me happy birthday. One of them did this dance. It was quite nice.
Yeah.
They don't do it for everybody.
No, they can't remember my name, but they sing and dance for him. Now, what is that about?
It's a pretty good deal if you ask me. So anyway, that's about it for this time. Maybe by the next edition we'll be back from Nashville.
All right.
Possibly. No, we'll probably do one more before we go to Nashville. But we'll see. Anyway, that's about it for this time. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Stay safe. Wear your mask. Clean your hands. COVID is not a hoax. We love you. Bye.
Here are some shots from our trip.